Look at you guys. Oh my gosh. Look at that. I can't believe they grew like that.
Okay.
Next one. Oh.
Did it.